Are you an architect, a designer, or simply you like to have things well organized? So maybe I have the add-on for you. The Camera Manager is an add-on I created. It allows you to manage different cameras with a click of a button. Let's see how you install it. Like every other add-on, you go into Preference, under Add-ons, you just click this arrow, install from disk, you look the location where you downloaded the zip file, you just press install, and after that it shows up here. After the installation, you can find the add-on on the right side, and as you can see, it's very simple and intuitive. So let's say you're working at the project and you would like to add a camera in a specific position. You just have to press the button and a camera is added in exact same location you are looking from. So let's see from the side, let's go on the top. And as you can see, we are in perspective mode, and so the camera is added. It's a perspective camera. Let's see if we are in orthogonal mode and we add a camera, an orthogonal camera is added to the list. As you can see, we have orthographic, and for example, this one was a perspective. We can still switch between the modes if we want to. Thing that differs between the modes is the perspective. We have the focal length control, and the orthographic, we have the scale control. Super easy. You can, of course, rename every camera. Let's say I want to name it this front and I want to name this back. You can rename it in whichever moment you want. And so you can organize the cameras. Another nice thing of the add-on is that let's delete everything. If you add your first camera and you press the button, you can see that a collection is being created. It's called camera, and it will put all subsequential cameras inside. And so if you go around, no matter how many cameras you add, it's gonna look for a collection named camera, and it's gonna put the camera in there. If you don't have a camera collection, it will create one for you and put all the camera inside. So you have it also, if you have a file with many objects, then it's very organized and neat, as I was saying at the beginning. Let's say you are in a camera. As you can see, you have 3 buttons, and so you have the possibility to just go to the viewport of the camera. So if we have difference, you can just switch between the cameras, and you can lock the camera so that if you move around, the camera moves with you, because sometimes you just want to make small adjustments and it's much easier to do it while moving the camera in, like you'd be in the viewport. And so you can move it, and you can also, as you can see here with this arrow, you can select the camera, because maybe you want to do some options, maybe you didn't name it correctly, so you want to look for it in the camera collection, or simply you want to delete the camera. You can select it and delete the camera. Another useful thing you can do is define the clip start of your camera. We will see in a project later that sometimes you need to see, for example, inside of the cube, but you have a very big focal length, and so you can't go far enough. The walls are in the way, and so you can just decide the clip start of the camera. It's very useful for architect projects, interior projects, where you, as said, you have a specific focal length you want to achieve, but walls or things are in the way. So with the clip start, you can easily change this. Another very useful thing you can do with the add-on is, let's say you have this camera and you would like to have a preview that you can share with your client, or that you just want to print out to make some comments on it and to make some adjustments into, I don't know what you want to do. You can just press the screenshot button. As you can see, a screenshot has been created. You can define the screenshot path where you would like the screenshot to be saved. And for me, for example, as you can see, I just created a preview folder and a render save path. So a preview folder and a render folder, and all my screenshot will be saved there. So let's say I have another camera here. I press screenshot. As you can see, if we go into the preview folder, then I have the 2 screenshots we just did. Let's try again. So if I have another camera and I make another screenshot, this is camera 002. We have camera 002 screenshot. What happens if you do another screenshot of the same camera because something changed? Then it's going to be saved, and of course it's going to be saved as 002 001. So it never overwrites the screenshot you make. And what you can also do, if you have multiple cameras, you can just make screenshot all cameras, so that if you go in the folder, then you have all the screenshot at once, because sometimes you have many different cameras and you want to make multiple screenshots at one. Same thing you can do with the renderings. Let's switch to Eevee, so it's a little bit quicker. And so if you go to render mode, this is what we see. And if I make a render active camera, it renders it like if you would press F12, but in my case, it saves it in the render folder we just did. And so we have the camera here. And you can do the same thing with the render all cameras. So if you just press the button, all cameras rendered sequentially, and you have all your renderings ready to go in your custom folder. Oopsie. Ready to go in your custom folder. So these are the very useful things you can do with this add-on. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's very simple. It's very intuitive. Let's see with an actual project I did. This is a project I did for a client. From the outside, it's not nice because it was an interior project. As you can see, we have different cameras, different interior scenes. Last thing I forgot to mention is this cycle cameras button is as easy as it sounds. It just cycles through all the cameras, because maybe you didn't name that. Maybe you have a specific sequence of camera you want to build, and so you can cycle through them. But I think it's a nice useful thing you can have. So let's say I am in this view and I would like to share it with my client. I just create my custom path and I make a screenshot. Screenshot is created. Of course, the heavier your scene, the longer it takes to make screenshot and renderings. But I created here a previous project, and there I have my camera and the screenshot that I can share with the client. Of course, it screenshots exactly what it sees. If we toggle the overlays back on and I make another screenshot, then of course the screenshot we have will display also the overlays. Might be useful for you, might not, so just think about it. Let's say you have this shot here, for example. Let's go into material mode. You have this shot here. It's very useful to have the clip start, because without the clipping, I am actually standing outside the. Let me show. I'm standing outside of the house, and so of course, if I wouldn't have the clipping, I can also change the clipping into camera adding. These are all options you can really find into Blender, but it's very useful for me to have this clipping slider so that I can adjust it and I can make sure that all of my scenes are in the correct spot and everything is well organized. So of course, if you render all cameras, it's gonna render all the cameras. Don't worry, it just stays there a little bit, because this project, for example, are 8 cameras, and of course it will take the time it takes 8 cameras to render, so you just have to be patient. At the end is always displayed the message, everything has been rendered. Yeah, and that's it. You can find the add-on on Superhive. It's the former Blender Market. Currently costs $3.99. I think at the time of the recording is currently on sale. So maybe check it out. The link is in the description. And yeah, if you have any suggestion what we could have in another add-on, feel free to write in the comments. And yeah, that's all for me. Thank you very much for watching.